What's going on, YouTube? Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at Transformers The Last Knight Deluxe Class Decepticon Berzerker. Now, a funny thing about Berzerker, I'm pretty sure this dude was the character, or one of the characters, that was in the highway scene in Transformers Dark of the Moon, a movie from several years ago that we're finally getting a figure of today. The overall aesthetic of Berzerker is actually quite good. It definitely is something different. He is a more bestial Decepticon than we've gotten before. Color scheme isn't that great, though. I think it's too dark. I'll show you what it looks like on the back of the box so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. Head sculpt is quite good. The dreads, though, do get in the way of posability of the figure. I like the giant X there on his chest. I don't really know why it's there, but the head sculpt is good. It's well detailed, and I swear those are bullet dreadlocks, not just, pieces of machinery. So as I just mentioned, the paint, I think, is too dark, and that's because the box art, or the picture that they used for the box art, has a lot lighter grays on it than the toy does. That might just be because of the flash photography used for the figure or Photoshop, but I think that this paint works a lot better than what we got in the figure. Now, the figure is quite posable. He's got plenty of joints. Oop, I just lost his weapons there. Feet have nice heels. They're nice and wide. There is a joint here at the shin. The knee is 90-degree bend. Ball joint in the hip. There is thigh swivel that is incredibly tight and snaps back into place once it gets to the main position, like I have it here. There is no torso articulation due to the transformation. Head is on a kind of a swivel pin system. Then ball joint in the shoulder, swivel at the upper arm, a little over 90-degree bend at the elbow, and then his hands do move up and down for the transformation. He comes with these two spiked weapons that kind of remind me of flails and harpoon guns. They are a little bit strange, and they are painted the exact same color as his dreadlocks, which again, I think is a little too dark. Chrome Tyranno, if you're watching this video, I think you could really make a good custom out of this guy. He gets these cute little harpoon mace thingies. I said cute because it actually looks pretty cool and threatening. I do love the way that this robot mode looks. And I forgot to mention, I really do like these spikes on the back of his shoulders. They add just a nice little element to him. Unfortunately, they are a pain in the butt to deal with the transformation, which we'll get into now. So Berzerker's transformation is annoying, and that is because he is a shell former. Not a shelf warmer, shell as in a clam shell. To start off with, we're going to go to the heels and fold them up under the feet, straighten out the lower legs, straighten out the knees, and then turn the thigh swivels so that the feet are pointing towards each other like that. And just kind of put them together. They don't really doesn't really matter how you sandwich them together. Next, we'll come up to the arms, specifically the bottom forearms, and flip out the rear bits of the tire wells. Then take the hands and fold them up underneath the forearms, being hidden by the door parts. Point the arms straight up and straighten them out. Come to the backs of the arms where the blades are and fold the blades up, and there is a little tab hole on the surface of the blade that will peg into the spike that's on the back of the forearm. And if you don't do this step, these little blade pieces will get in the way like nobody's business, or you could just pull them off and deal with them later. They don't exactly stay connected to those little spikes either. Then take the shoulders and fold them up over the robot head that you push all the way down. Now we come to the backpack. And the backpack actually does a nice job of accordioning out. So kind of just push the backpack up, and you can pull the torso away from the backpack. And then flip 1, 2, and then we practically have the entire front part or rear part of the vehicle mode, and then that will drop over the shoulders and the arms. And this is the most frustrating part of the transformation, because the panels on these forearms keeps coming off, especially on my figure. And getting them lined up is not easy, because things are all black. You can't really see what you're doing, and it's just kind of a panely mess, which unfortunately shell former figures are notorious for this kind of annoyance. So we'll deal with that later. Now with the legs combined, or I should say just smushed together like this, you'll fold the figure at the torso, fold the legs up into the cavity of the body, and just get everything pegged into place. Put the panel that just dropped off back on, flip these side panels over, bring the windscreen and the hood forward, take the grill, smush that into it, and then fiddle around and curse profusely until you get everything lined up correctly. Weapons are stored underneath the vehicle mode, and the vehicle mode you end up with is, well, it's not great. And specifically, the problem has to do with it being a shell former. And I just can't get anything lined up correctly. I just cannot get this figure to stay in vehicle mode. The whole Chevy Suburban look isn't bad. If you could get the panels to line up, it's okay. But in vehicle mode, look, this is the Bumblebee that I recently reviewed. It's this deluxe class figure transforms into a vehicle mode that's almost the same size as this turbocharger. What is going on with the movie line? They're getting so tiny. And the plastic on this thing doesn't feel right. I know that sounds odd, and I know a lot of folks complain, oh, well, why are you talking about the plastic feel? The toy doesn't feel durable. It doesn't feel like it can last past the length that the movie line is going to be in. It's not terrible, but it doesn't quite feel right. The figure has an awesome robot mode. I think the robot mode is really, really cool. I just hate the transformation and really dislike the vehicle mode. And specifically because I don't think this is a great transformer. I get what they're going for. I really do. I think they've really tried here, but this figure doesn't feel good, and it just falls apart. I mean, it literally falls apart in some spots. So, yeah, there's that. Should you pick it up? I don't know. I don't know what to recommend on this one, simply because there aren't that many figures for this line. There really aren't. There aren't that many toys at all coming out. Dang it. There aren't that many toys at all coming out for this line, which is really strange. In the deluxe category, this and Barricade are the only two new figures. Everything else is a retool or repaint, and bad repaints at that, of figures we got in the last movie line. So if you have to have new figures, I would recommend picking this up. I think the robot mode is great. Don't care for the vehicle mode, but hey, the robot mode, like I said, is pretty darn cool. So guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video review. As always, I'm Baltmatrix. I ask you to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you next time.